Hi everyone, my name is Suzanne and I'm a Chinese metaphysics master in Hong Kong. On July 7th, we are entering the Qi Wei month, the Earth Goat month. And so today I'm going to discuss the flying stars for this Earth Goat month. And we'll take a closer look at what areas of your home are most beneficial for which activities and which areas are a little bit tricky to handle and what you can do to avoid it. Now, for those who are tuning in for the first time here, and if this is a chart that you've never seen before, don't worry, this is super easy to understand. So all you need to do is, first of all, actually determine where the south, north, east, west areas are in your home. You do that by standing in the center of your home, holding out a compass and just determining the north-south axis. And then from there, you know where all these areas are. And then you just follow the instructions that I'm going to give you today in this video. All right, so let's get started. Now, in July, we do have a few sectors that are actually really, really good. Probably the best sector is the Southwest sector, because here we have the monthly number 9 as well as the annual number 1. So together they form a Luoshou combination of 10. And so this is always great if we have a combination of 10. It usually means that things are just coming together, whether that's a partnership, could be a business partnership, or maybe if your bedroom is located there, it could also be in relationship to something romantic. Maybe you're getting closer to your partner, or maybe you find a partner. So 9 and 1 is especially positive. Both stars are really, really positive anyway. So the Southwest is truly one of the best sectors of the month of July. Now, aside from the combination of 10 that we've got here, the number 9 also signifies celebration, happiness. It's an energy that brings passion. So if you have kind of lost your mojo, or if you're a little bit down, then head over to the Southwest sector of your home, regardless of what area that is, kitchen, living room, dining room, it doesn't matter what area it is. Just spend more time there and sort of like suck up the energies that are there, because they will really help you get your mood up. And the energies are also generally good, as I mentioned earlier, for relationships. But if you are specifically looking maybe for a romantic relationship, or to just deepen the relationships that you have with your spouse, also very good. So this is an ideal place in July, whether that's for business or for relationships. Now, the other very good sector here is the north, where we have the monthly number 8. Now, the number 8 is supposed to be a cash flow star, but it always comes with the side effect of also bringing you more work. So yes, more cash, but through more work. So it's more useful for, let's say, freelancers, people who work from home, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, those kind of people. If you are a business owner, then you may want to locate yourself either in the east or the southwest is probably better, or even the southeast. But so cash flow through more work. So if you want to snatch up more contracts and more work, then the north sector would be a place to locate yourself in. Now, aside from that, it's also a great sector for anything to do with finance related matters. So if you want to have a look at your budget, or just go over your financial plans, this is a great sector to do it from. Anything finance related, essentially. Yeah. And then the East with the monthly number 1. So the number 1 is always considered sort of like a nobleman star, meaning it brings in helpful people, people who can assist you with all sorts of endeavors. If you have a problem, if you have an issue, you can reach out for help. So that can be on a personal level or on a professional level. It doesn't matter. Now, it is also very good for studying and doing research, doing concentrated work, if that's what you want to do. So you can also use the East for that. But I would say use it for nobleman purposes. That's probably better, because if you reach out to people, if you start planning networking events from the East, if you are contacting clients, business partners, suppliers, or anybody who is in a position to bring you more business, then do that from the East. And in the long run, this could then obviously also lead to financial gains. So this is a very good sector to do that from. Now let's have a look at the sectors that are a little bit tricky. We'll start with the Northeast. Here we have the number 6, the monthly number 6. Now, generally speaking, that is not a negative flying star at all. It usually helps with career purposes. And obviously, you can use the Northeast for this purpose. So if you are in between jobs, if you're looking for a new opportunity, then do all related activities from the Northeast if possible. So that could be rewriting your CV, having a look at your resume, updating it, reaching out to headhunters, looking online for job opportunities, sending out your CV, and then of course you can also take Zoom interviews or phone interviews from that sector. The thing that makes it a little bit tricky is because we also have the number 7 here, which is also a metal star like the number 6. And when you have both of these stars in the same sector, it can make things a little bit aggressive. So you're probably going to feel a little bit more aggressive than usual. So just, tone it down a little bit. When you feel like you're getting a little bit anxious or a little bit too high strung, if you're spending too much time in this sector, then just move somewhere else for a couple of hours, maybe the Southwest, for example, to calm down and just be happy again, right? So just make sure that you hold your tongue and don't become too aggressive. It's okay to be assertive, but sometimes if that then flips into aggressiveness, that's not so great. The Northwest, in the Northwest, we see the monthly number 4. Now, this generally also a positive star. It's called a peach blossom star, but also it's a academic star. So for studying, this is a great sector. Now, because we have the annual number 5 here, that's actually what makes this a little bit tricky. This year, the number 5 is quite strong. It's called the calamity star. And so we don't really want to trigger it by spending too much time here. Now, if you're healthy, if things in life work pretty well, then it's not a big deal. You can use the Northwest sector, especially if you're using it for studying, because that's generally a sort of like a quiet activity. But I would say don't use this sector for anything that requires a lot of noise or a lot of movement. Yeah, so for studying, it's a great sector. Even as a peach blossom sector, it's okay. So if you are, I would say if you're single and you just want to text a crush and invite them to lunch or dinner or drinks or whatever, or send an email, make a phone call, that's fine, do it. It's not the best sector to sleep in though. Yeah, so that's with a little caveat, but you can use this sector. Just be a little bit careful. Then we've got the number 7 in the south. So the number 7 is called the discord star. So it brings slight disagreements, not massive, just sort of a bit of tension. And it can also bring a risk of fire hazard, especially if it's located in the south sector. So I would say be a bit careful whenever you light candles in the south in July. Make sure that if you do, that you watch the candles, that you don't leave them unattended, because there is a higher risk of a fire hazard happening, right? So careful with that. Also, if you happen to spend a lot of time in the south sector, because I don't know, maybe your desk is there or you sleep in the south sector, then be extra careful with your belongings. In July, the Discord star usually brings loss of money, not a massive amount of money, but like maybe you lose your wallet or your purse or whatever. So be extra careful of your belongings, especially if you're outside. Maybe you take a taxi, you don't want to lose your phone or your handbag. Yeah, so extra careful with that. Then we've got the southeast here. Southeast has the number 2. Now, the number 2 is considered an illness star. So this makes the southeast sector a little bit tricky for those who are suffering from a chronic disease or who are just recovering from an illness, or maybe you just got home from surgery from the hospital and you just need to recuperate. The southeast sector would then definitely not be a sector to do that in. Yeah, so if that is your bedroom and you're really your physical health is not great, then move somewhere else. You can move to the northeast. The number 6 is good to improve health, or otherwise the southwest or the east. Now, for small infants, this is also not a great sector because of the illness energies that are coming with it. And infants are usually a little bit more susceptible to these kind of energies. So if you have a small baby, a small infant, then maybe don't let them sleep in this particular sector this month. Now, if you are a business owner, then the Southeast is actually quite good because the number 2 is also an asset star. So it brings asset accumulation, whatever type of assets you are dealing with. And so as a business owner, especially if you're young, if you're healthy, then the Southeast is a good sector and you can locate yourself there, especially whenever you are dealing with asset acquisition or any sort of investment in your business or in personal life. And then lastly, we have the number 5. So as I mentioned earlier, the number 5 is considered a calamity star. We don't really like to expose ourselves too much to the number 5 because it brings all sorts of obstacles in our lives. Now, as long as you don't disturb this area with hammering, drilling, moving around furniture, making a lot of unusual noises, then you should be fine. But in July, be extra careful because the West sector this month, or this year, pardon me, this year is anyway afflicted by what we call the 3 killings. Now, sounds worse than it actually is. Nobody's gonna die. But it is an annual affliction, and together with the number 5, this could trigger some upsets. So I would say don't spend too much time here, especially if you are pregnant, or when it comes to business, don't take any important decisions or sign any sort of agreements or any important documents in the West sector of your home. So if you take if you take this advice, then you'll be fine. Otherwise, the West is usable. You can stay there, but just sort of no important decisions, no important life-changing activities in the West sector. All right. So this is it for the month of the Ziwei Earth Goat. So that would be July 7th to August 7th. I am wishing you all a fabulous July and hope that you're really making the best of it. If you do have any questions, any comments, please put them in the comment section below. Or you can reach out to me directly. I'm always happy to hear from you. My email address is in the description to this video. And I would really appreciate it if you could hit that subscribe button, if you could share the video, like the video, and yeah, that would really help me out. All right, see you guys soon.